Okay, I'm Shauna Partlow, and I'm a teen relationship coach. And is what I do, I help parents connect with their teens so that you, mom, dad, can talk about all issues. Okay, and actually, the issue that I want to talk to you tonight is it might be something a little bit different than what you're kind of thinking about, because usually I'm kind of talking about what teens are, okay? Just helping the parent, of course, connect with your teen. But tonight, I'm going to talk to you about strong-willed parenting, okay? So I'm sure you have heard of a strong-willed child, strong-willed teen, and maybe you have one of those. And maybe you're like, oh yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about, Shauna, because when you have a strong-willed child, it's not fun most of the time, okay? But I have heard being said, okay, because here's the deal, all right? So I can remember when I found out that I actually had a strong-willed child, that I was like, what? Oh my gosh, like I totally could not even believe it. So I'm sitting in this chair and my kids are in bed, finally. That's what you feel like. It's like, oh my gosh, is it ever going to be bedtime? And I mean, they weren't little either, okay? So they were already teenagers. So I'm sitting there in this chair. I'm finally just like, oh my gosh. Thank God it is nighttime, because I'm so stinking tired, and I'm sitting there in this chair and I have the radio on and they're talking about the characteristics of a strong-willed child. And when I heard it, I'm like, what? I have a strong-willed child? After all this time, all these years, I didn't even know that that's what I have. I was like so happy that I finally knew, okay, what was wrong with her, right? Because it wasn't me. It was not going to be me. But hey, it was her. It was definitely going to be her. That's how I felt. And so I was so happy about that. So in the midst of that, then this is what they said. But if you can direct your strong-willed child, okay, then man, there is no stopping them. And that is definitely the truth. If you can direct them, you know what? They're like a freight train. Definitely. They're totally like a freight train. But here's the thing, okay? So I want to talk to you about strong-willed parenting, okay? And sometimes you got to be that, don't you? You have to be strong-willed. And I can remember, okay, the same child when she was very little, like 2 years old, okay? Because she was strong-willed. I didn't know it. But apparently I was just a strong-willed, because I remember saying to her, you're not going to win. You are not going to win today. She's 2. And I'm saying that to her. You are not going to win. So now she's a teenager. Now she's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay? And she probably did win some of these things. But I got to tell you, hey, it was a fight. Okay? And I was bound and determined. Oh, no, you ain't going to win today, girlfriend. That's kind of what I was thinking. And that's really what I did. Okay? Which is, you know what? A lot of it, too, because I had to. I had to be that way. But in the midst of this strong-willed parenting, if you don't have a strong-willed child, you may not even understand what I'm talking about, okay? But you know what? Doesn't mean that you don't know. Doesn't mean that you might not be a strong-willed parent, okay? So I actually just looked this up, like, I don't know, maybe an hour ago, if even that, all right? The definition of what strong-willed is, okay? So this is from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, all right? And it says, this is the definition of strong-willed: very determined to do something even if other people say it should not be done. So if you have had the strong-willed teenager, you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? Very determined to do something even if other people, aka mom, dad, all right, say it should not be done. And almost to that strong-willed child, it's like, oh yeah, sure, challenge accepted, mom. You say I can't do that? Dad, all right, I will show you who can't do it. And once they get on that track of doing that, you know what, there's no stopping them. Like I said, when I said before, it's like a freight train, that's for real. It really is like a freight train. They cannot stop until that is completed. The motion will not stop. It does not matter. You get in their way. It does not matter. Okay. But now see, I'm turning this around to you, mom, dad, strong-willed parenting. You might be the strong-willed one in this situation. And if you are, maybe you didn't even know that. Maybe you haven't even realized that. But now maybe tonight you're going to be thinking that. So you can put in the chat, wow, you know what? After I start saying some of these things, you might be thinking, oh my golly, wow, I am that. So here's one way, okay? Here's something that you might think about, that I want you to think about to indicate that you, mom, dad, might be the strong-willed one, okay, in this scenario. And that is that you're overly controlling, okay? So that's one thing. And then another thing is that you have to have your way in the disciplining, in the structure, in the things when it comes to with your teenager, okay, that you have to have your way, or there is no way. Or actually, let me rephrase that your way is the only way. Because see, you're the same way. It's the same thing. Your mind is so set on the way that they should be, the way that they should behave, the actions that they should be taking. It's the same thing as your teenager. You cannot get off of that track because that's where your mind is. You're so strong-willed that you don't even realize that, wow, maybe I just need to back off a little bit. It's the same thing for your teen, except for your teen doesn't have their brain capacity. Okay, I'm not saying they're dumb and they're stupid and stuff like that. Is what I'm saying is a lot of times their brain just cannot. Okay, they don't even realize that that's even almost what they're doing. But as adults, we can pull back and be like, whoa, the horse is here. Okay, you can do that. All right, because of the maturity level, hopefully within us. All right. But sometimes it becomes so much that, we're going to win no matter what. And that's part of how you know that you are so strong-willed, okay? Because, man, you're thinking the same thing that your teen's thinking. Oh, yeah, it's on. It is on, baby. Yeah, let's go. You got those boxing gloves out and you are ready because it's a fight. And you're good. You, strong-willed, mom, dad, you're going to win. Because you're like, oh no, you ain't, teenager. You are not gonna win today. And sometimes it really has to be that way, okay? Sometimes it's good that you're strong-willed because your teenager, there's some things within what they're doing that, yeah, you know what, they really should not win, okay? And sometimes, yeah, they gotta learn the hard way, and man, it's painful. It's just as painful for you, isn't it, as it is for your teen. But there's some things that are non-negotiable that you absolutely have to be strong-willed in, and that's a good thing. But if you're just strong-willed in every part of your parenting, golly, okay, here's the thing in that, okay? If you are so strong-willed in your parenting, here's what it does to your teen, okay? There's a couple different things that it will do to your teenager, okay? One, especially if your teenager is not strong-willed, this is what they do. They way push back. You know what? They can become very closed, and definitely the relationship is very just, nothing really there because mom, dad, they're so strong-willed. It doesn't even matter what I'm saying because you, mom, dad, you are going to have your way come hell or high water. It does not even matter. You do not give your teen an option. There's no conversation. There's no nothing because you want your way, okay? So that's how you kind of know there, okay, that, man, okay, maybe I am a little strong-willed. Maybe I should listen a little bit more. Maybe I should compromise. And when I'm talking about compromise, I don't mean give in to things that should not be compromised, okay? Your teen drinking, no. All right, I got to tell you, they're teenagers, all right? If they're not 21, then, hey, it's against the law, all right? And your teenagers should not be drinking. Because a lot of times, you know what, depending on the state, guess what? Who goes to jail? Not your teenager, but you do, okay? So the consequences of them drinking, you suffer that, not your teenager, okay? And they might be celebrating with the beer as you're in jail. Give them some cheers, right? But anyway, okay, strong-willed parenting. Okay, so your teen tends to really back off. They get closed off and because they separate really from you because really there's no talking to you, okay? Because you're going to have your way. And if they don't give it to you, then you know what? Then they're in trouble, all right? No matter what. Another thing that happens for the teenager is if your teen is strong-willed, oh yeah. Remember I just talked about the boxing gloves? Oh yeah, man, it's on, isn't it? They are going to fight you to the end because if you both have that, oh no, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. You both cannot win. All right. The only way you both win is if you come together in a compromise and you're like, well, okay, you know what? We do have to talk about this. And that's you, mom, dad. You're the one that has to come up and say that. You know what? Okay, it's hard, man. You know, you're feeling that pain, aren't you? Like, oh gosh, why do I have to be the one to apologize all the time? Why do I have to be the one to compromise? Well, because you're the mom, because you're the dad, because you are the adult. Okay? That's why. And if you cannot apologize, guess what? Your teen will not ever apologize because you're leading by example. So when you take some deep breaths and I can do this. I can do this. All right. Get your Rocky Balboa house coat robe thing on. All right. You can do this. All right. You can do this. Okay. Calm down. You can do this. All right. And you might have to take the gloves off. All right. Not put them on, but you got to take them off a little bit. Because you have to calm down and you have to realize that, wow, okay, should I be compromising a little bit? At least listen to them, okay? And go from there. At least hear what your teen has to say. If you got to put duct tape on your mouth, whatever you got to do, okay? Do that. But you got to listen to them, okay? To hear just their side. Because just in the midst of you listening to your teen, that right there is huge, okay? That right there, man, that takes walls down instantly because, wow, you know what? I can't believe it. Then they're going to be on their phone. They're going to put on Snapchat. Wow, guess what? My mom actually heard what I said. My dad actually was quiet long enough to actually hear what I what I was trying to say to him, okay? So that's something you have to do in your strong-willed parenting that you have to, okay? Pay attention, think about what you're doing, okay? And direct your teenager, okay? Especially strong-willed to strong-willed. You got to start putting some ways of how to direct your teenager in the right path, in the right direction. Because when you're bashing heads and you're fighting and going everywhere, your teenager's behind you, going the opposite direction. They're not following you because you're the last person they want to be like. They're like, no way am I going to be like them. I'm not going to be like my dad, who doesn't listen to, who does these. When you're both the same way, that's why you bash heads sometimes because you are exactly the same. So something that you can do about it, okay? Because so many times we hear videos, we watch videos and we see these things, but it's like, okay, well, hey, that was really good information, but now what? What am I supposed to do now? Because that really is me, but now what am I supposed to do? And then the video ends, doesn't it? It's like, well, thanks for watching, goodbye. And you're like, well, okay, well, that was good information, but now I'm stuck here thinking, okay, I am that person, but what am I supposed to do? So I'm glad you asked, all right? So here is something that you can do if you feel like, yeah, okay, Shauna, I admit it. You can put that in the chat. I admit it. I am a strong-willed parent. I do parent that way. I am parenting that way because when you are strong-willed, it's like who you are, okay? It's like, but you have to do things about it now because first of all, that's in anything, you have to recognize it. Because if you do not recognize it, of course, you cannot change what you don't acknowledge and you cannot change what is not recognized. But now that you know, hey, guess what? You can do something about it, okay? So, and that, of course, definitely, we got to take some deep breaths. You got to relax. Throw that Rocky robe off now, okay? And put it on the ground. And then now you just got to be thinking, okay, and I kind of already said some of that stuff, that's to listen to your teen. Definitely listen to your teen. But you have to redirect your own thoughts, redirect your own mind, redirect your own self, okay? Because you are the adult, you're the grown-up here, all right? And now you're going to help to direct your teenager, all right? But you cannot direct your teenager if you're not even calming down yourself because that's how you're directing your teenager. So you just have to just calm down, okay? You have to calm down. You have to think about what you're doing. And then when you find yourself, in that mode of like, you're the freight train now, you have to have your way. You got to pull that back. You truly, It's hard. It's really going to be hard, okay, especially as they're teenagers and you've done this most of their life and your life, and you have not acknowledged and really thought about it because you're so used to getting your way, and you will do whatever you have to do to get your way. But now you have to put the brakes, okay? Put the brakes, and then now you have to be like, okay, what did Shauna say again? What am I supposed to do? You have to train your mind. You have to train your thoughts, okay? And this is something you can do even in advance, okay? The next time that Sarah Sue and I get in this fight, the next time Jimmy Lee and I get in a fight, okay, your son, daughter, whatever it is, the next time we get into an argument, because a lot of times it's about, the argument is about the same thing. This is what I'm going to do, okay? The next time that happens, because of my own strong will, you know what? I'm going to calm down. I'm going to listen to what they have to say. I'm not going to overreact, and I'm not going to try to get my way, okay? Because that's what you have to do, is you have to stop trying to get your way, okay? Your teens, they have to learn things, and they have to mature themselves too, okay? But you want them to mature in a healthy way, okay? Not mature, well, and really that's even being mature, okay? Because there's so many adults that aren't even mature themselves, okay? That they're so petty, they're so, wanting their way that it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that they're acting that way. Who's the teenager here? Which one? Is it the 50-year-old or is it the actual 14-year-old? So you can't act like your teenager and expect them to be mature, okay? Your teenager shouldn't be more mature than you are, all right, as mom, dad. Like, that should not be the case. But sad to say, sometimes that is the case. Because, again, all right, it really goes back to the strong-willed parenting, okay? So it's not just your teen that's strong-willed, but it's us as well. So, again, that's what you're going to do, okay? You're going to think about what you're going to do in advance, okay? If you got to write it down, that's actually good. Because as you write things down, that actually helps your brain to connect to it better, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. When this argument happens, I'm going to do this, okay? You can write this down and then you can tear it up, whatever you want to do. You don't have to keep it, but your brain's going to hold on to it. So the next time that same fight happens, you're going to kind of be prepared in advance, okay? A little bit. And that's probably the biggest thing there, okay? Is you're going to think in advance what you're going to do, and then when that situation happens, because I guarantee it's going to happen, okay? Because if you have a strong-willed teenager, it's going to happen because they want their way, and they're going to push and push and push and push and push and push and push until they get it. And they may just do it anyway. You said no, and oh, okay, anyway, that's yes to them. And challenge accepted, and no means yes, and yes means yes, because I want what I want, and I'm going to get what I want. So thanks for playing, Mom. Thanks for playing, Dad. See ya. So when your teen is acting like that, you have to be calm. You have to know in advance what you're going to do, and then act upon that. Okay? Those are the things. Those are things that you need to do. I hope this has been helpful to you. Okay? You can let me know. All right? What you think. And you can even let me know some of the videos that you want to see, because I'm probably going to do a lot more of them live just because, it's a lot easier. It's just easier for me. All right. And who doesn't like live action? Right? Right? So I think that's all I want to say about that right now is just those things that I've said. If you want to watch this again, you can. If you want to subscribe, please do. All right, hit the little subscribe button. And if you want to share this video with someone that you're thinking, hey, you could really use this video, feel free to share this video and others that are in this, okay? So I think that's about it. But I want to say thanks for being on. Thanks for joining, and thanks for watching. All right?